You are sitting in traffic, performing the ancient human ritual of not making eye contact with the person in the next car. Then a song comes on. Maybe it is a choir entering at exactly the right moment. Maybe it is a guitar note bending upward like it has unfinished emotional business. Maybe it is the beat dropping after a silence that lasted half a second but felt legally significant. And suddenly, your skin does something ridiculous. Tiny bumps rise on your arms. A shiver runs up your neck. Your body reacts as if a cold wind has entered the vehicle. Even though you are wearing a seatbelt, holding a lukewarm coffee, and nobody has threatened your survival except the driver merging without signaling. So why does music give humans goosebumps? The short answer is that music can press several very old buttons at once. It plays with prediction, attention, emotion, memory, and social sound. The long answer is stranger. A song can make your body briefly behave as if something important is happening nearby, even when the only thing nearby is a Bluetooth speaker and a questionable playlist called Focus Vibes. Goosebumps are not a special music feature. They are an old body response called piloerection. In animals with thicker fur, raising the hairs can trap warmth or make the body look larger during threat. A frightened cat puffs up. A cold mammal fluffs its coat. A human gets a textured forearm and a confusing sense of profundity. We kept the machinery, but lost most of the useful fur. This is a theme in human biology. We are constantly running ancient software on a mostly hairless device. When goosebumps happen during music, they are often part of what people call chills or frisson. Not every chill produces visible bumps, and not every goosebump is meaningful. But the classic music chill has a familiar shape. There is a rising feeling, a tightening, a sense that something is about to happen. Then a peak, a release, and the body answers before you have had time to form a proper sentence like, yes, that cello was emotionally unacceptable. This is where prediction comes in. Your brain is not a passive recording device. It is a guessing machine. All day, it predicts what will happen next. The next word in a sentence. The next step on a staircase. The next facial expression after someone says, "We need to talk." Most of the time, good prediction is not dramatic. It just keeps you from falling over, misunderstanding people, or putting orange juice in your coffee. Music is basically a playground for this prediction system. A melody teaches you what kind of pattern it lives in. A rhythm sets up timing. A chord progression suggests where it wants to go. Without realizing it, you begin making tiny guesses about the next sound. When the song gives you exactly what you expected, it can feel satisfying. When it delays that arrival, it creates tension. When it surprises you in a way that still makes sense, the brain gets something even better. It gets a safe prediction error. That is a very human pleasure. Not chaos, not boredom. The sweet spot is almost right, but not too right. A joke works that way. A magic trick works that way. So does a song that pauses before the chorus just long enough for your nervous system to lean forward in its chair. If this channel is becoming one of your stranger prediction machines, subscribe and we'll keep poking the ancient systems hiding inside ordinary human behavior. One reason music can feel so powerful is that it turns time into suspense. A painting can be beautiful all at once, but music makes you wait. It withholds. It hints. It builds a little emotional trap. And then you willingly climb inside because apparently you have nothing better to do than be manipulated by organized air. Researchers have found that intensely pleasurable music can involve brain reward systems, including areas linked with dopamine. Dopamine is often described as the pleasure chemical, but that is too simple. It is deeply involved in wanting, learning, motivation, and anticipation. In music chills, the anticipation before the peak seems to matter a lot. The moment before the moment can be part of the reward. This explains why a song can give you chills even when you know exactly what is coming. In fact, knowing can help. Your brain recognizes the path. It remembers the turn ahead. It starts preparing. The singer is about to hit the note. The drums are about to come back. The harmony is about to open like a trap door under your feelings. You are not surprised in the basic sense. You are anticipated. That may sound contradictory, but humans love prepared surprise. We rewatch movies for scenes we know are coming. We replay songs for drops we can predict down to the millisecond. We return to the same emotional ambush and act impressed that it found us again. Music also borrows from one of the most important sound categories in human life, the voice. Long before headphones, speakers, streaming services, and the man in every apartment building who owns one acoustic guitar, sound was survival information. A snap in the dark, a baby crying, a group calling across distance, a scream, laughter, footsteps, thunder. The nervous system evolved to care about sound because sound often arrives before sight. You can hear danger behind you. You can hear someone's emotion through a wall. You can hear a group before you see it. Music takes advantage of this sensitivity. A violin can slide like a human cry. A singer can strain at the edge of control. A bass drum can imitate the seriousness of a large thing approaching. A choir can sound like many bodies, breathing one feeling at the same time. Your brain may know this is art, but the older parts of your attention system are less concerned with art history. They hear urgency, they hear movement, they hear bodies. This does not mean music tricks you into thinking a predator is in the room. It is subtler than that. Music creates a safe version of importance. Your threat and attention systems wake up, but nothing actually needs to be fought or fled. So the energy gets interpreted through emotion. Arousal without danger becomes awe, sadness, triumph, tenderness, or the dramatic conviction that your commute is now the final scene of a film. That is one reason chills are not always happy. People get goosebumps from sad music, solemn music, eerie music, national anthems, religious singing, film scores, and songs tied to grief. The body response is not simply, I am pleased. It is closer to, pay attention, this matters. And humans are extremely vulnerable to the feeling that something matters when other humans seem to feel it too. Music is social technology. For most of human history, music was not just a private object delivered into one ear by a tiny plastic device. It was shared. Singing, chanting, drumming, dancing, ritual, work songs, lullabies, mourning, celebration. These are not decorative extras attached to human life. They are ways groups coordinate attention and emotion. When people move together or sing together, they can feel more connected. Rhythm helps bodies align. Repetition helps groups participate. A shared song can turn separate nervous systems into something that feels briefly collective. This is useful if you are marching, grieving, worshiping, warning, courting, or trying to convince 30 relatives to clap on the correct beat at a wedding. So when a crowd sings the chorus back to a performer, or a choir enters after a single voice, the chill may come partly from scale. One voice becomes many. A private emotion becomes public. The nervous system is sensitive to that because belonging was never a small issue for our species. For a social animal, the group is not background scenery. The group is shelter, information, identity, and sometimes the difference between eating and becoming an anecdote. This is why a song can feel bigger than sound. It can carry a memory of other people, even when you are alone. The anthem at a stadium, the song your parent played in the kitchen, the track that belonged to a particular summer, a particular heartbreak, a particular version of yourself who had worse shoes but stronger opinions. Memory gives music extra leverage. The auditory system is closely linked with emotion and memory. A song can act like a time machine with suspiciously good aim. You hear the first few notes, and suddenly your brain retrieves a room, a person, a smell, a season, a version of your life you did not formally request. The goosebumps may not be from the music alone. They may be from the collision between the music, the body, and a stored emotional world. This is also why the same song can be boring to one person and devastating to another. Music chills are personal. Some people experience them often. Some rarely do. The response can depend on attention, openness to emotion, musical background, memories, mood, and whether you are actually listening or just using music as wallpaper while answering emails with the spiritual energy of a damp napkin. Attention matters. Chills often appear when you are absorbed. If you are half listening, the prediction system does not fully engage. The song cannot build the same trap. But when you give it your attention, even a simple musical event can become charged. A pause, a key change, a sudden silence, a voice cracking, a harmony that adds one note you did not expect and somehow makes the ceiling taller. The body reacts because emotion is not just an idea in the head. Emotion is a body state. Heart rate, breathing, muscle tension, skin conductance, temperature, posture. We often talk as if feelings live in a private mental theater. But your body is in the audience, loudly participating. Goosebumps are one visible clue that the nervous system has shifted into arousal. The sympathetic nervous system, the system involved in mobilizing the body, can activate. Not necessarily panic, not necessarily danger, just readiness. Your skin, heart, breath, and attention briefly reorganize around the sound. This is the odd beauty of music chills. Nothing practical is happening. No meal has appeared. No predator has been defeated. No shelter has been built. A pattern of vibrations moves through air. Your ear converts it into nerve signals. And your ancient mammal body says, apparently this is important enough to raise the fur we no longer meaningfully possess. It seems irrational only if we imagine humans as sensible machines, built for efficiency. We are not. We are prediction machines, social animals, memory collectors, and nervous systems that treat sound as a serious source of information. Music reaches into those older systems and gives them something safe to do. A song can be powerful because it is never just a song. It is timing. It is expectation. It is a simulated voice. It is a social signal. It is memory with rhythm attached. It is tension and release dressed up as entertainment. It lets the body practice importance without paying the full price of danger. So the next time you get goosebumps from music, you do not have to pretend it is mystical. Though honestly, it will still feel a little mystical. What is happening is stranger in a more biological way. Your brain predicted the future. Your body prepared for significance. Your social instincts heard a human signal in the noise. And your ancient hair-raising system tried to help. It was not very helpful, but it was paying attention.